So in this video, what I'm going to do is give you some tips and insights about the best things that I'd recommend for someone going from year 12 to year 13 over the summer. So our first kind of conversational point is about uni prep. As you're aware, kind of from the start of year 13, uni preparation and applying to universities really starts to ramp up. And being productive and taking initiative in the summer between year 12 and 13 can really aid you in your preparation for university. So something that I'd really recommend myself to do is an online course, or a MOOC, which stands for Massive Open Online Courses. Essentially, these are courses which I should say the vast majority of the time are completely free, which you can take from a specific subject or a specific topic in a specific subject. So the website that I used personally was Coursera, but there are many others which offer similar experiences. And like I said, the majority of these are completely free. So the course that I personally did was an 8-week long course, which was an introduction to game theory. And if you're unaware, game theory is kind of like a branch of economics, mathematics, computer science, which I personally find really interesting. Like I said, I did this over the span of like 8 weeks, and it was about 4 or 5 hours of work per week, and I gained really quite a lot from it. And I used this to formulate quite a decent chunk of my personal statement. And there really are a lot of benefits of doing courses like this. A, they're really interesting and it helps you to learn more about the subject you like. B, it keeps you sharp mentally and it gives you something to do, which can be really beneficial. And C, it helps you differentiate yourself from other students when applying to universities, because a lot of students will talk about kind of books they've read, but very few will actually partake in courses, so it really helps you stand out. So you can see that about a third of my personal statement kind of came from doing this course. And if you'd like to read that section, you can just pause now. So the second thing I'd recommend in terms of uni preparation is to read books. And what I'd really recommend is read books that you're actually interested in, not the ones you think you should read. So as I said, I'm really interested in game theory and that aspect of economics, but I'm also really interested in behaviour economics. So I read a couple books about behaviour economics during last summer, specifically an introduction to behaviour economics and Freakonomics. And again, these contributed to a decent chunk of my personal statement. Also, I'd recommend attending or watching lectures. So I kind of did this throughout the whole of year 12 and a bit of year 13, but attending online lectures can be really beneficial. Now you can attend in-person lectures, but I found these quite hard to get to and quite inaccessible, and to be fair, I couldn't find that many, but online lectures are really good. So for me personally, as applying to economics, the Twitter page of LSE was really good for signing up for these. Again, this contributed to a significant chunk of my personal statement. I only talked about one lecture that I attended, but I attended many more, and these are really interesting as well. And then finally, some basic things I'd recommend is start on your personal statement as early as you can, and try to attend a lot of university open days because they're really beneficial. And then I kind of want to talk about A-level revision. So you finish the first year of sixth form, year 12, and you've actually done the majority of each course in that first year. So what I'd recommend during year 12 as a whole is to be consolidating your notes as you go. But during the summer, really make sure you're very sound and confident on the first year content. Now there are many ways which this can be achieved, but what I personally used and what I would recommend is some sort of flashcards which you can then use to test yourself during the summer and also during year 13 as you get closer to the exam season. The app that I personally used was Brainscape, and I did this for A-level economics and A-level physics. Although I must say, for the first year of A-level economics, I did all my revision cards on paper, hence why they're not on my Brainscape. So you can check out my Brainscape if you want to kind of see how I structured it. You can also sign up to my classes if you want to. A couple of people have done so already. But making flashcards is what works for me. But it's more important you find a method that works best for you. Also, during the summer, try and keep exam practice fresh. So it's all well and good going over content, but it's also beneficial to sit down and do some essays, do some questions, whichever is relevant to the subjects you were studying. Now let's talk about work during the summer. So I personally didn't get like a full-time or part-time job during the summer. However, I did tutor online. So I had about 5 students per week which I tutored for an hour session each. And obviously there was a bit of preparation time which came along with that. For example, making PowerPoints about the subjects you were tutoring. This can actually be a really good way to make money, and it's really convenient if you use online learning. So for example, I use Zoom for this. And I personally tutored maths and science from kind of ages year 3 to year 11. And I would actually recommend getting a part-time job during the summer. It can be something like tutoring or an actual kind of physical job where you go somewhere, but it gives you something to do, keeps you busy, and it earns a bit of money, which is always good. However, I'd probably advise against trying to get a full-time job with too many hours per week, because it can kind of tire you out and not leave you sufficient time for other things you want to do, such as relaxing and studying. And that leads me nicely on to my kind of last conversation point, which is that in the summer, make sure you do relax and take time off. So me personally, I actually left my personal statement way too late to get started, and I only started it really at the mid-August, end of August, start of September. And because I was an early applicant, because I applied to Cambridge, so you have to submit it earlier, this didn't leave me a comfortable amount of time to kind of get it done. I did get it done, and I was really happy with it in the end, but I was quite stressed. In early September, I had a week holiday planned with some members of my family, and I was really considering not going because I thought I really should prioritise my personal statement. And just for a bit of context, I wouldn't have been able to work on my personal statement when I was away because of no internet access. But looking back at it now, a year later, I am so happy I went away. It gave me time to relax, kind of stop thinking about all the stresses of university applications, personal statements, A-levels, all that stuff. When I came back, I was relaxed and refreshed, and I could work fully on my personal statement. So that's a little personal anecdote, but the message of this is really take time to relax, and it actually benefits your study to do so. So yeah, that kind of rounds up this short video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative in some way. If you'd like to subscribe, that'd be great. If not, no worries. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.